Hi, kindergartners. Welcome back to your TV classroom. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, and that means that we are over halfway done with February. It's almost springtime in March, and I am so excited. How was your night last night? Did you have a great night? Let's take a look at our zones and see how we're feeling. What zone are you in today? Mr. Kevin, what zone are you in today?
Well, Miss Wally, I'm in the green zone.
Ooh, why are you in the green zone?
Well, I had a great dinner last night and I went to bed early.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. How about you, Miss Wally?
I'm also in the green zone. I had a great dinner last night, and Oliver, for the first time, started saying numbers. I'd say 1, he'd say 2, I'd say 3, he'd say 4, and he went all the way to 10. I didn't know he could do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I got to spend some time with Mr. Wally. We had a great time talking about our days and just really showing empathy to each other. It was really great. So I'm in the green zone today.
Nice.
Friends at home, can you ask someone around you what zone they're in today? It shows that we're interested in other people as well as ourselves. Sometime today, I want you to ask someone, how are you feeling today? And I want you just to listen and see how they're feeling and give them some support. I know that you can do it, kindergartners. Okay, it's time for True or False Tuesday, the day with the sound effects, and I'm so excited. All right, True or False Tuesday. Is this true up here on our screen? What do you think? Do you think this is true or false? Mabel, there, now you can see. True or false, Mabel? It's true. 2 and 3 more is the same as 5. Okay, is this true or false? I agree. It's false. If I have 1 and then I put 4 more on, that makes 5. It's not the same as 3, it's the same as 5.
Yeah.
Is this true or false? True. 3 plus 3 is the same as 6. It's true. True or false? Are you sure? Okay. Mabel said true. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the same as 7. Great job, Mabel. Is this true or false? You sure? Okay. False. 4, 5, 6. That's not the same as 5. That's false. Today we are learning to make 3-dimensional figures using smaller, solid shapes. But before we begin, let's see if we can decompose this figure into what flat shapes they used to make it. How did they make this shape? What shapes do you think they used? Now I know you don't have this shape in front of you, so I'm going to use my pen. Mabel's going to help me, and I'm going to draw some lines, and we're going to see if we can figure out the ways they might have made this shape. Mabel, you said 2 squares and 2 triangles. Can you tell? Okay. Square. Square. Oh, look at that! 2 squares and 2 triangles. I was thinking something different. Friends, I was thinking 1 rectangle and 1 square. What was that, Pebble? You were thinking something different? What were you thinking? 3 squares? Oh, you just didn't use the triangles. You just did 3 squares. Look at that. We can make this shape using different flat shapes. Pretty cool. Okay, now I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna show you the next slide. And you have to figure out which solid shape thing matches the picture. And then I'm going to try to make it with my solid shapes if I have enough. So, the tree. How is the tree made? This one. I think I see it. Do you see it, Mr. Kevin?
I do. I think I do.
Oh, I need to get my ink color changed. Friends, what did they use? They used a cylinder. Now this is gonna be hard.
Okay, here we go.
And a sphere.
Oh, I was gonna give you the other shot. Sorry.
That's okay. A cylinder and a sphere. There it is. There's our tree. Doo-doo-doo. I made a little tree. Now, I would prefer to have a little bit of a shorter cylinder and a bigger sphere, but this is what I have here at the TV classroom, so it's what I'm going to use. A cylinder and a sphere. Okay. Ooh. What about this firework? How did they make this firework right here? What did they do? What did they use? Oh, I hear them saying it. I think you're right. Mabel said a cylinder and a cone. Okay, cylinder. Now, oh, Mr. Kevin, that cylinder sphere thing. I don't know. Is it this one or is it this one? Cylinder, sphere. Sphere is like the ball. Okay, so now I know because this is not like no. That's a sphere. So cylinder is the tube.
Right.
Okay, so I think it's this.
Yeah, right.
Let's see if I can make a blast off rocket.
Yeah.
Are you ready, friends? Pshoo! I made it. Look. It's a firework. Pshoo!
Woohoo!
That's pretty cool. Okay. Ice cream cone. I see a cone upside down and a sphere. Whoa. I have to hold it because it won't stay. Ooh, almost. Cone and a sphere. Actually, I'm gonna go this side. I think you can, there we go. Cone and a sphere. Do you want some, Mabel? Yeah. Ice cream cone. Cone and sphere.
Nice.
Oh, the couch. Now, I can't make the whole couch because I don't have enough cubes or enough cylinders, but I can make part of the couch. That will work. I looked to see if I had more solid shapes and I only have these ones. So I think we'll just have to make do with what we have. Right, Mr. Kevin?
That's right.
That's kind of what we have to do. So the couch, how did they make this couch? What do you see? I see a cube here, and a cube here, and a cube here, and then some cylinder arms. It looks like a cylinder back. Do you see any pictures that look like that? Look at this. Cube, cube, cube. Cylinder, cylinder, cylinder. I think I found it. I can't make that one. I don't have enough. Same with my snowman. I only have one sphere in my kit. But what is this snowman made of? It's made of 3 spheres and a really small cone. A carrot nose, like a cone.
Oh, I didn't see the cone.
They didn't see it either. They didn't put it on, but I just saw it, so I added it. So I'm going to make a little cone right here. It's cone nose. Ta-da! We did it. Now, we compose shapes to make these other shapes. Now we're going to look at some solid shapes and we're going to decompose them and figure out which pictures match which shape. Are you ready? Let's take a look. All right, let's look at the duck and the person. What shapes do you see? I see, let's look at the duck first. I see cylinders. No, spheres.
Spheres.
Mr. Kevin, what is going on with my brain today? I was looking at the cylinder and I circled the spheres. Oh, kindergartners, let's try that again. Rewind. Here we go. I see a cylinder and spheres and a cone.
Mrs. Wally,
Yes,
don't fear the sphere. Okay.
I won't. How many cylinders? 1. How many cones? 1. How many spheres? 2. Do you see a picture here that parts that match it? Look, this says 4 cylinders, 1 cone, 1 sphere, and 1 cube. Did we make the duck with these shapes? Is this how we use all these shapes in the duck? No. Let's look at the little guy that's going to a party with his party hat on. What did we use to make him? Or her? Could be anybody. I see a cube. Look, cube. I see a cone. A cone. I see a sphere. A sphere. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4 cylinders. 1, 2, 3, 4. We figured it out. We use these shapes to make the party person. Okay, take a look at our next box. Which figure can you make with those shapes? Which figure can we make with just those shapes? 3 cones, 2 smaller cones and 1 bigger cone, and 1 cylinder. This time, let's start with the other shape. We started with the first shape last time. Let's look at the second shape this time. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cones, 1 sphere, and 1 cylinder. I don't think we can make that with these shapes. Just like I couldn't make the couch with the shapes I had. I didn't have the right shapes. What about the rocket? A big cone? Check. A green cylinder? Check. And 2 small cones? Check, but they tried to trick us, Mr. Kevin. They put the cones in the opposite direction, but we are smart mathematicians that are strong with our thinking, and we know that shapes can be flipped upside down, and it still makes it the same shape. They tried to trick us, but it didn't work. Yes, we made the rocket. Kiss your brain, kindergartners. Nice job. Now what I would like you to do is on your whiteboard, I would like you to draw a picture using these 3 shapes to make a rectangle. How would you make a rectangle using a square and 2 triangles?
Would you like me to show your
Yes,
board?
please. You might go back and think about that blue figure, Mabel's way of making that figure this morning. So I'm going to make my rectangle shape on the outside. Everyone draw a rectangle. That's a shorter line and a long line. Or you can make it going up and down. That works too. It can face in whatever direction you want. It just has to have 2 opposite sides the same length and 4 straight sides. Now I'm going to make a square. I'm just going to draw a line right down the middle. I've got my square. Now, how do I use a triangle to make this square? Do you remember? Do you remember, Mabel? How did we make how did we use triangles to make that square? Oh yeah, remember we put the long ends together? So I'm just gonna draw a line here. And look, I have some triangles. Triangle, triangle, square. We made a rectangle. Nice job, kindergarten friends. Let's look at your assignment for today. Today, you're going to do page 303, which is looking at some objects and figuring out which solid shapes they used. And then page 304, deciding which shapes made which figure. That's your assignment today. Today we learned to make three-dimensional figures using smaller solid shapes. We could tell the solid shape we used, and we named the three-dimensional figure we created. Excellent job, friends. Mr. Kevin, if they make some cool three-dimensional figures, could they take pictures and send it to us here at the TV classroom?
They sure could. Kindergartners, just ask your adult to help you to take the picture and send it in email to tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us, or you can always mail them. Put a stamp on an envelope and send it the old-fashioned way to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
All right, friends, excellent job today. Thanks for talking about shapes with me and creating figures. It's one of my favorite things to do. I hope you have a wonderful day. You're going to be having Miss Oslin next. Make sure you have your ELA packet and your pencil and your learning buddy and all the things you need to do your learning with Miss Oslin. Have a great break. Go to the restroom, wiggle your legs, take care of your needs, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chick Street Man, and I'm a musical ambassador for peace and human rights. And the Northwest Sinfonietta asked me to show you a little bit of what it is that I go through to warm up in the morning or before I go on stage later in the evening. So this is a little fun thing that we can do, because sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're feeling good, but things tend to happen. Maybe it's raining and maybe there's no food in the refrigerator, or maybe your mom or your brother or your sister or your teacher or a good friend says something to you that tends to want to bring you down, but you don't have to go down. You can keep yourself feeling up by saying a little something to yourself that goes like, I feel so good. Say, I feel so good. I feel so good. And then you get a little rhythm into it, okay? So you say, I feel so good. Well, I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so good. When your mind is happy, so is your body. When your mind is happy, so is your body. I feel so good. I feel so good. And then once you're feeling good, then you want to share it with everybody else around you. But before we even do that, and you're going to share it with anybody else, it's important to warm your voice up a little bit. So I have a little technique that I use to warm my voice up that goes like this. You say, you just close your mouth, and one time you say, So I want to teach you how to do it. All you got to do is just close your mouth, and one time, very gently say, Right? When you say, you do it 2 times, you say, I guess that was 4 times, okay? But you put a little rhythm into it. It goes like this. So then later on in the evening, when you're hungry and you're back home and there's no food on the table, you can say, where the dinner, mama? Where the dinner, daddy? Just don't tell him I taught you how to do that, okay? So this is all about relaxing and enjoying, feeling yourself relax in your body. Thank you. You know, sometimes you may be feeling up and sometimes you may be feeling down. But I believe there's always going to be some love coming around. People, you say you believe in rhyme and dancing away the time. But when you hear the music calling, you keep on stalling, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Now when you get that feeling. Let me tell you what love can do. It'll swell up in your body, then slip on away from you. So when you feel the river rising, your soul capsizing, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Believing you just can't keeping on. It's gonna make you a little bit wary, whether you're right or wrong. But like a vine inclined to keep on clanging and to keep on swinging, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, high, high. Rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. And if the fire's got you burning, ain't no returning, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, high, high. Rhythm low. Got to keep on moving. Rhythm high, rhythm low.
Hi, kindergartners. Welcome back from your break. Excellent job being so responsible and gathering your materials. Go ahead and take your ELA packet, your learning notebook, your pencil, your crayons, and put those off to the side. You can go ahead and keep your learning buddy in your lap if they are going to help you focus today. You'll remember today and every day when we come together in our TV classroom, your job is to listen, share, read, and write. And you show active listening posture. That means that's how you hold your body when, say this out loud with me, eyes watching, ears listening, voice quiet, and if it helps you, body still. I know some people who kind of need to wiggle to help them focus, and if that's you, then you know that about yourself, and you go ahead and do what you need to do to focus.
Focus.
Focus. Oh, we have been learning all about fiction stories. These are stories that come from our author and illustrator's imagination. And we read Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and this version is by James Marshall. And we learned that this is an old favorite. That means this is a story that has been around for a long time and that a lot of people know it. There's different versions out there, and before books were even printed, this was a story that people told just using their mouths. And so grandparents told their kids, who told their kids, who told their kids. And I'm sure if you ask the adults in your life, they have probably heard this story too. Now, stories can be to entertain us. That means to make us laugh, to make us cry, to make us feel things. But they can also be to teach us a lesson about life and how to solve problems. Now, let's look back at some of Goldilocks and the Three Bears and think about how our characters solve their problems and what lesson are we supposed to learn from this story. Now, you'll remember in the beginning, Goldilocks was sent to buy muffins in the next village, and her mom said, "Don't take the shortcut." And Goldilocks said, "I promise." But what do you see her doing? She did it anyway. And then she went into the house that she saw in the woods. She just walked right into someone else's house. She ate their porridge. She spilled their porridge. She sat in their chairs. She broke their chairs. She slept in their beds. She tested them all out, and then she actually did fall asleep in Baby Bear's bed. And then, the bears came home, and they chased her out of the house. And she never went back again. Now, Goldilocks did not listen to her mother and took a shortcut through the woods, and then she went into the bear's house. That is so dangerous. That's when the problem or trouble began, when she went into the bear's house. Why didn't Goldilocks listen to her mother? What do you think? Turn and tell your learning buddy what you think. Mabel, sometimes people just don't like being told what to do, and they want to see what would happen if they did. Do you think she learned her lesson? Did you learn a lesson? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Mabel, it says she never went back again, so I think she did learn her lesson. Did I learn a lesson? I learned that if someone who cares about me is telling me not to do something, I should probably listen. Today, readers, we are going to learn to notice. That means pay attention to when characters, that's who, when characters encounter a problem and work toward a solution to that problem. That means we're going to read a story and we're going to pay close attention to when the characters in the story have a problem and what do they do to solve the problem. We are going to read a story called The Three Billy Goats Gruff by Paul Galdone. And again, this is an old favorite. This is probably a story that some of the adults in your lives have heard. And as we read, think about what is the problem? How do the characters solve the problem? And is there a lesson that I could learn from the way that the characters solve their problem? Let's get started. Once upon a time, there were three billy goats. They lived in a valley, and the name of the billy goats was Gruff. Okay, we know the main characters are usually introduced on the first page and sometimes appear on the cover and in the title. We talked about that with Goldilocks. We decided that she was the main character because we meet her right on the front page and her name is in the title of the story. So if we know that this story is called The Three Billy Goats Gruff, and we look at this page, who do you think our main characters are? I hear some of you saying The Three Billy Goats Gruff. Yeah, they're the main characters, and they all have the same name. Did you catch that? Let me reread and see if you can figure out what their name is. Once upon a time, there were three billy goats. They lived in a valley, and the name of the three billy goats was Gruff. They're all named Gruff. Now, let's read and listen for the problem that our characters have. There was very little grass in the valley, and the billy goats were hungry. They wanted to go up the hillside to a fine meadow full of of grass and daisies where they could eat and eat and eat and get fat. Okay, so they said the setting is they lived in a valley, and a valley is like a field or grassland between mountains or hills. And so I'm starting to think that the billy goats have a problem. They're in the valley down low, and they want to go into the mountains where the food is because they're hungry. So how do you think that they're going to get to the meadow up on the hills? How do you think they're going to solve this problem? Mr. Kevin?
Could they take an Uber?
Oh, I wonder. Do we think that a goat could take an Uber? It's a fiction story, so maybe. Let's find out. But on the way up, there was a bridge over a rushing river. And under the bridge lived a troll who was as mean as he was ugly. Oh, the problem just got worse. There's no Uber in sight. They have to go over this bridge. And there is a troll who lives under the bridge who is mean. Could he be part of the problem? Oftentimes in stories like this, there is what we call a villain, which is like a bad guy. You might have heard that term before, but when we're reading books, we say the villain. That's the person who is causing problems for our main character. What will the billy goats do? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you think the billy goats are going to do. Mabel, if I were the goats, I wouldn't do it. I'd find something else to eat. I'm not going over that bridge. Okay, let's read to figure out how our goats, the main characters, solve their problem now that we've met the villain. First, the youngest billy goat Gruff decided to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, went the bridge. "Who's that tripping over my bridge?" roared the troll. "Oh, it's only I, the tiniest billy goat Gruff," said the billy goat in his very small voice. "And I'm going to the meadow to make myself fat." "No, you're not," said the troll, "for I'm coming to gobble you up." "Oh, please don't take me. I'm too little, that I am," said the billy goat. "Wait till the second billy goat Gruff comes. He's much bigger." "Well, then be off with you," said the troll. Phew! The tiniest billy goat has solved the trouble by telling the troll that he should eat the next billy goat. What do you think the next billy goat is going to do? Let's find out. A little later, the second billy goat Gruff came to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, went the bridge. "Who's that tripping over my bridge?" roared the troll. "Oh, it is only I, the second billy goat Gruff, and I'm going up to the meadow to make myself fat." And the billy goat said the billy goat, and his voice was not so small. "No, you're not," said the troll, "for I'm coming to gobble you up." "Oh, please don't take me. Wait a little till the third billy goat Gruff comes. He's much bigger." "Very well, be off with you," said the troll. Okay, now it seems that the second billy goat is facing the same problem. How does this billy goat get out of trouble? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy. Mabel, the second billy goat Gruff says, wait till the third billy goat comes. He's much bigger. kind of tricks the troll. Huh. I'm noticing a pattern. I'm noticing that the first billy goat tricked the troll by saying, wait for the next billy goat. The second billy goat tricked the troll by telling him to wait for the third billy goat. Is the third billy goat going to be able to solve his problem in the same way? Why not? There's no more billy goats. Oh no. Let's keep reading and pay close attention to how our character solves their problem. Then up came the third billy goat Gruff. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap, went the bridge. The third billy goat Gruff was so heavy that the bridge creaked and groaned under him. Who's that trapping over my bridge? Roared the troll. It is I, the big billy goat Gruff, said the billy goat, and his voice was as loud as the troll's. Now I'm coming to gobble you up, roared the troll. Well, come along, said the billy goat Gruff. I've got 2 horns and 4 hard hooves. See what you can do. So up climbed the mean, ugly troll, and the billy goat Gruff butted him with his horns, and he trampled him with his hard hooves. And he tossed him over the bridge into the rushing river. Then the third billy goat Gruff went up the hillside to join his brothers. In the meadow, the 3 billy goats Gruff got so fat that they could hardly walk home again. They are probably there yet. That means they're probably still there. They are probably there yet. So, snip, snap, snout, this tale's told out. Okay, how did the third billy goat Gruff solve his problem, escape the troll, and get to the meadow to get fat with his brothers? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Mabel, the third billy goat, was the biggest, and he was able to butt the troll with his head and trample him with his hooves and send him off into the river so that he could go up and get fat in the meadow. Now, did this story have what we call a happy ending? Yeah, the problem was solved. Well, for the goats anyways.
Yeah, the troll, not so much.
Not so much for the troll. I wonder if there's a story that tells this story from the troll's perspective. I'd be curious about that. Now, it seems like our characters, the 3 billy goats Gruff, were able to solve their problem by working together. If the biggest billy goat had just crossed the river ahead of the other ones, I wonder if the troll would have been tricked by climbing up there. I wonder what would have happened differently if the goats didn't work together. I think that the author is trying to teach us that it's important for us as people to work together to solve problems. And that if we do work together to solve our problems, we can think of ways to be smart and overcome trouble, but only if we listen to each other and work together. So if you ever have to solve a problem, do you think that it would make it easier and give you more ideas if you worked together with someone else? That way you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to think about it all by yourself. I think that's the message or the moral that our author wanted us to learn. So today we learned to notice when characters encounter a problem and work toward a solution to that problem. And then we as people can learn from it. Now, today, for your independent reading, remember, you're going to practice your independent reading and writing habits. Make sure you have your material, so when you go off to read, make sure you have plenty of books that you can read for longer and longer periods of time. And I want you to read your text and think about the story elements. You'll remember it's the character, setting, beginning, middle, end. Pay close attention to your characters and how they solve their problems. And that's what you're going to write about today. You're going to write about the problems and solutions that happen in your books. So when you sit down to write, make sure you get your independent workspace. Make sure you have all the materials that you will need, which are your learning or writing notebook, your pencils, your crayons, and you talk to someone about what you're going to write before you start writing. And then once you've finished your writing about the problems and the solutions that your characters have, you can send it to us here at TV Classroom. And Mr. Kevin is going to tell you how to do that.
Friends, don't let the troll stop you from sending us an email or sending us a letter. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
Love.
We would love it.
So ask your adult to help you. Email tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us, or you can send it via mail to TV Classroom at 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405, and there are no trolls in sight.
Nope, the trolls won't stop your letter from getting to us.
That's right.
That's for sure. Now, kindergartners, this is the time for your affirmation. This is when we use positive self-talk before we go off to do our independent work. And I learned from reading The Three Billy Goats Gruff that I am a strong problem solver. And you know what? You are as well. So practice reminding yourself of that right now. I am a strong problem solver. Excellent job today, kindergartners. Thank you so much for reading and thinking with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you here next time in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.